Should you come up with a New Year's resolution this year on personal growth and development, or should you come up with habits? And you probably know where I'm going with this video, and I want to give you a few things of good advice for 2022. But do me a favor, before we do that, if you've not subscribed to my channel, subscribe down below and click the notification link, and I'll see you on the video. All right, so 98%, if not more, of New Year's resolutions get broken. And the reason why is because people want to see something and you're at point A and you want to get to point B, and there's a gap here. And you say, okay, I'm going to be at point B, like I'm going to be on time all the time. I'm going to earn $1 million. I'm going to become a millionaire. I'm going to drive a Mercedes. I'm going to get the nicest house in my state, whatever it is. And you do all these things, but you're working a 9-to-5 job. You are barely making it. You have credit card debt that's a mountain high. And how are you going to do all these things? And you need to learn how to fill out the gap. You need to learn how to get from point A to point B. And when you say you're going to do all these things, then you come down into your own reality. You're already drowning. You're like, oh, you know what? You go back out to point A and you want to get to point B, and you have to learn how to fill in that gap. And it comes down to personal growth and personal development, and a couple things that are just simple. So when you do simple steps, they're easy to do, but they're easy not to do. And there's a philosophy out there as a math teacher who worked in the high school system for 18 years of teaching, 21 years with a couple of years of subbing and short-term assignments and things like that. There was a problem I would give my class. If I offered you $1 million, or if I offered you a penny that doubled every day for 30 days, what would you do? And obviously, if you do the math, the penny that doubles every day would be the way to go. And it would be the easiest way to go, and you'd make more money. Let's backtrack and talk about habits and forming simple little habits. It's like adding that penny a day to your habit. And some of you might be saying, well, yeah, that's easy. I could do that. The biggest thing, and successful people do this, the most successful CEOs and everything of companies, they read 52 books a year, which is insane. That's like a book a week. I personally could not do that. But I do read at least 10 to 15 pages of a book a day. And it helps me, it challenges me. And I don't pick up any book like I just finished The Slight Edge. I'm getting into ClickFunnels Secrets. I'm getting into Start Late, Finish Rich. I mean, I've got more books on my list than I can handle. I would read at least 10 to 15 pages a day, every single day, and make some time to do that. Really get the books that are gonna speak to you. That's 3,650 pages a year that you're gonna be reading at least in books. It's gonna help you toward your personal growth. And again, it's like that penny a day. It's like a no-brainer, but how many people get out of that habit? As it's easy to get into that habit, it's very easy to get out of that habit. And I will say that someone who's tried to build my business on habits, it's so easy to get out of them. Like, you stop doing something for a day because you got to take a few extra phone calls, and then tomorrow you got to make up for those phone calls so you don't do it again. And then before you know it, you're out of the habit. Before I go to my point number 2, good books to read that I really highly recommend. If you have not read The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, read that. I mean, it's an incredible book. I don't think you can get on Audible. I think you actually have to physically read it. That's a good one. Miracle Morning, that's a good one. That's on Audible. The Compound Effect. There's so many different good ones that you could start reading that you get into. Exactly What to Say, Sell or Be Sold. Those are all good books that you could be reading, that you could be getting this habit. So get into reading at least 10 to 15, not just Audible, but reading. Going into my second, what I kind of just said is listen to Audible. Listen to at least 15 minutes of Audible a day, something that's going to really speak to you and help you, that you could start getting into that right mindset. And some of the books that I just told you are on Audible. It's very good. Or YouTube, or some sort of audio program that you can listen to, especially if you're commuting. Like, I used to commute to work about 35, 40 minutes, and I would try to listen to some sort of Audible. They say right now that if you take a certain subject and you listen to it and you really get the series on it, and you listen to podcasts, in 3 years you can have equivalent to a PhD if you really keep on just listening to this material, because you're hearing it for half an hour every single day. And to me, that's incredible. I mean, we live in a society where education's at our fingertips, but how many of us take advantage of it? I know with me personally, my wife and I, we do watch a couple shows on the weekend that we tape. Our main show that we watch, and yes, I'm weird here, I'll tell you this right now, is we like to watch Jeopardy. But outside of that, I'm trying to do some sort of work on my computer or feed my brain with something, or read before I go to bed, because I find that it just puts me in a whole other state than watching TV. And really, I think watching TV, even sometimes getting on the internet, that it takes away from your time and it eats at you. And if you're not doing these daily habits, it eats at you. So yeah, those are a couple things. If you don't know my history, I was a high school math teacher, like I said. I said that earlier. I started looking at and I think I think we're a very unique country, and I love the fact that we give free education. I know in my particular district, I was having class sizes of 42, and a lot of my students had failed the previous math, and they were being pushed up. And I would meet with district officials because I felt like they needed something special more than what I could give them, because we had this textbook which really wasn't math, and they wanted group learning, which I'm 100% for, but they really didn't want us teaching. They wanted the kids to learn on their own, which is great. But when you get into math and you get into certain subjects and core subjects, you've got to teach them different things and emphasize it with them. And these kids were failing for a reason, and they weren't knowing math at all. And I really felt like I wasn't the person to do this. So part of my goal, and this is what I'm getting, or my drive, like what's that drive you have? Part of my drive was to get out of the life I was in and into a new life. So what I went ahead and did is I put the education behind me, left my district, and went on and moved on. And I went ahead and I started working for myself, and I love it. And it's hard to do, it's scary to do, and I've said that a million times. And when I say it's scary, when my wife and I went to go refi the house, I'm making much more money than I was teaching, but they like that steady paycheck and pay stubs, and it was really hard to refi. We were able to do it, but we had to wait another 6 months. When you go to buy things, it's different. I mean, you get treated differently, especially when you leave like a career position. And I was in 6 figures a year, and when you leave that and you go to something else, it's a lot different. So I say that because you could expect to be treated differently when you work for yourself, and people around you get really weird. But you have to have that drive and that end goal. You've got to surround yourself. And the last thing I would say on this video is to really surround yourself with people that are going to help you grow. I had a friend who was very encouraging. I mean, literally, people knew I was working my own business on the job at my high school that I was working at. And if a group of teachers were all sitting down talking at a table that I had been previously connected to, and I went and sit down, it's like I rained on their parade. It's like everyone got real quiet and looked at me and like, okay, what's he doing here? Or why is he sitting here? You just don't relate to people like you used to. You're different. You think differently. You're going to be a different person. That's a good thing. Surround yourself with different people. Surround yourself with successful people. Surround yourself with people that are making what you want to make, that are doing what you want to do. If you want to be into surplus funds, find someone who's doing it. Connect with them. Get into our program. Get on one of our free coaching calls and see what's out there for you. We've had a lot of people do it. If you want to get into property flipping, surround yourself with the property flipper. If you want to get into internet sales, surround yourself with someone that's doing it. Ask them, what do you need to do to be successful? They'll share it with you. And if not, go to someone else. They'll totally share it with you. But start surrounding yourself with a different group of people than what you're surrounding yourself with previously, and that'll help you out. Hey everyone, appreciate your time. Thank you for watching this video. Like I said, do me a favor, if you're not subscribed, go and subscribe down below and click the notification link, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.